this week's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Guapo. As you can see, I am all by my onesies today. The boys feeling a little under the weather. They may jump in on the chat, but of course, wishing them to feel better soon. Uh, it's going to be a great show tonight. We got all sorts of things coming up. We'll be running through all of that. First, we want to throw our thank yous out there to those who help us get where we're at. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12. Um, they do our intro music. They do our outro music. The track's called Head Rush. And if you like that, make sure you hit your streaming platforms. Look up their album, Monsters. It's absolutely banger after banger after banger. If you haven't heard them yet, you're missing out. So make sure you check it out. Labor 12, Labor XII. What a week in wrestling it has been. Before we get started on that, I want to say what's up to Rick, what's up to Josh, Mikey. Glad to see you guys in the chat today. Man, we got a lot coming up. We're going to go over a few things that happened this week in wrestling. Of course, last Saturday, WWE's Payback. Decent PLE. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't my favorite. I'm going to go through the matches before I give it a grade. Of course, they started out with probably, in my opinion, the best match of the night. It was Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. And of course, I know the guy was going all for Trish Stratus because that's what the guy does. But absolutely a banger match. A lot of back and forth. Add the cage into it, and it was just a great match. And to see Trish, you know, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to throw an age out there, but being the seasoned veteran that she is, it was great to see her pull the moves that she did. And I don't know if any of you saw pictures of her after the match, but bruises on her arms, bruises on her forehead, bruises across her back. I mean, she went all in. And, you know, that's not an AEW thing, but it is what it is. Great match. Of course, Becky pulled that one out. After that, you get John Cena coming out because he is the host. And he decides to put himself as a special guest referee for our next match, which was The Miz versus the one and only LA Knight. Yeah. Of course, one of my very favorites. And what a great match it was. You knew with Cena being the guest referee that he was going to be involved in it. And it was funny to watch the interactions with The Miz. Of course, they've got a storied history. LA Knight letting John Cena know, you know, I ain't worried about you. We can, you know, you can step in the ring next. It was good to see. A lot of back and forth in that. I felt confident already that LA Knight was going to take that one, and that's exactly what happened. LA Knight gets the win, and of course, Cena's not real happy about that. But what's up, Camino, in the chat? He's showing up saying, "Talk." Let me talk to you. After LA Knight and The Miz, you know, you kind of settle down just a little bit. You get Ray and Austin Theory in their match for the U.S. title. And I'm not going to lie, I love Ray. You know I do. But this was kind of a mid-match. I'm not sure what was going on there. Of course, you got the things that you're always going to see in a match that Rey Mysterio is involved in. You got your 619 in. You got the high fly off the ropes. You got Austin Theory trying to pull his mask off. Ray comes out with the win on this, and while it wasn't the best match I've seen Ray or Theory either one do, it still wasn't terrible. You had Priest and Balor versus KO and Sammy. My biggest takeaway from this is what to call KO. Do we call him Kevin Owens? Do we call him Kevin Hardy? Because I don't know if you guys watched or not, but you know, he climbed all the way up to the top AEW style, or ECW style, jumped off the balcony through a table. It was something you don't expect from KO, so it was cool to see that. And then, of course, coming out in the hockey gear, it was a good match. It did take 5 people, all 4 members of the Judgment Day and JD McDonough, to make sure that KO and Sammy lose this match. So Damian Priest, Finn Balor, your new undisputed tag team champions. Kind of saw that one. You know, I was hoping that KO and Sammy would retain and be more of a Survivor Series kind of thing. But they have a lot of places they can go having Priest and Balor be the tag champs. After that, we get Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. It was a good match. Raquel is a good matchup for Rhea. You know, Rhea's the beast. She is, I think we've said it on the show before, she's like, you know, the female Brock Lesnar. And Raquel Rodriguez gave it to her match for match. And it was a little awkward at times. There were some moves that I wasn't real sure about. There were, trying to think about how to say this within community guidelines, but there were some captures from that match of Rhea, and one of them involved the rope, and one of them involved her doing a roll up, and all of them involved her ample posterior. That's our new hashtag for the day, ample posterior. It was a great match. Rhea got the match, you know, Rhea got the win in the match, but she had to earn every bit of it. And we haven't seen the last of Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. We get, of course, the Grayson Waller effect. I love the Grayson Waller effect. I know that we want to see him in the ring more often than we have been, but the way he does his talk show, I enjoyed. It's a lot of fun. His guest, of course, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And I wasn't 100% sure why Cody was going to be the guest, but he comes out and says that he put all the chips on the table, cashed in all his favors to bring somebody to Raw. And about that time, the music hits, and out walks main event Jey Uso, which was a shock to me. I didn't think Jey was coming back until the Royal Rumble. So seeing him come back here at Payback was a surprise for me, and it left me with questions. You know, it left me wondering, why is Jey going to Raw? What are they going to do with Jey on Raw? Well, it didn't make any sense to me. And as I thought more about it, you know, it kind of makes sense, because you're going to end up in a Survivor Series kind of setup. You're going to have a Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, and you just so happen to have one Uso on Raw and one Uso on SmackDown. So I fully expect to see a Team Jey, Team Jimmy match at Survivor Series. So I'm hoping that's where it goes. But of course, the crowd popped crazy when Jey came out. And Jey Uso doesn't come out unless somebody's getting a super kick. And unfortunately for Grayson Waller, that was him. Laid him out, left the ring. Everybody's popping. And that brings us to the main event. Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura. What a match. I will say, you know, they were playing the whole Seth's back is hurt thing, which, to my understanding, his back actually is hurt. It's not hurt to the extent that they're selling it, but he has been working hurt for a little while. He has had back issues since he was a kid. So they played off of that a lot. Shinsuke going for the back every chance he gets. Seth trying to show that the back is not an issue. He's okay. But the match went on for a while, and I wasn't as impressed as I wanted to be. I'm not going to lie. I may catch some hell for this, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. When Shinsuke Nakamura comes out, like, I started watching Shinsuke Nakamura on NXT, and I have yet to see that Shinsuke Nakamura on the main roster. It looks more like his, you know, that Shinsuke Nakamura's drunk uncle. I feel like with the heel turn they're having him do, they're getting closer to what he was in NXT. And I understand that characters have to evolve and they have to change for the times, change for the show, change for opponents. But he's not there for me. But you put him in a match with someone like Seth Rollins, and it's going to be a good match, period. Like, there's no way that's not going to happen. So as the match went on, they sold the back and sold the back and sold the back. And of course, Seth gets the win in the end. Saw some video footage of after the show went off the air. Shinsuke attacked Seth Rollins, kneed him in the back 3 or 4 times, and it was ugly. I really thought we were going to get a Damian Priest cash in. Just given the time that was left, the show ended at like 10:20. So I'm like, we still got, 10 10 minutes. Surely they're going to do a cash in something, but they didn't do it. And I guess looking back at it, it makes sense. You know, the big story coming out of that is the Judgment Day sweep. You know, you've got Dom, who has the North American title. You've got Rhea, who's got the women's championship. You've got Priest and Balor are now the tag champions. So I think that's the big story coming out of that is the Judgment Day sweep, and that was continued on Raw. We'll jump straight into that. Raw was, or before we do, I guess I ought to give it a grade. Not the best PLE I've seen. I'm not gonna lie. This one was teetering on that line between B minus and C plus. I thought they had a lot of time. They could have done a lot of things, and some of the matches were just kind of clunky. So that's kind of where I'm at, is on that line between a C plus and a B minus for Payback, which takes us into Raw. Before I get into that, I see Shannon in the chat. Shannon, glad to see you in with us today. And I want to thank everybody who's watching. Everybody, if you haven't followed us yet, please do. If you're seeing some ads and you want to quit seeing those, by all means, get that subscription. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret that a lot of people may not know. If you have Amazon Prime, and let's face it, who doesn't have Amazon Prime? When you click on subscribe, underneath where it shows how much subscriptions are, there's a little toggle switch that says subscribe with Prime. Doesn't cost you a dime. You click that, you get your subscription, no more ads. You get to see everything in its entirety. So if you haven't done that yet, get out there and do that. For everybody that has, we appreciate you guys so much. J Reb showing up. What's up, Cameron? Glad to see you in the chat. That brings us into Raw. And of course, the first thing that happens on Raw is main event Jey Uso makes his way to the ring. And I was excited a lot. I was excited for it. I like Jey. Of the two, Jey's my favorite. So he gets in the ring. He says what's up to everybody. He says he's on Raw now. He's by himself. Makes it a point to talk about how he's by himself. It's just him now. And he says he's upset a lot of people in the back. You know, he's made some people mad, and they know where to go right here. And so, Tori Rain, thank you for the follow. Glad to see you in here tonight. Appreciate you being here. So Jey Uso starts talking about everybody he's pissed off in the past, and Sami Zayn's music hits. Sami walks out. He doesn't look happy. The crowd's popping like crazy for him. He gets in the ring and tells Jey, you're right. There's a whole lot of what you said is true. There are a lot of people back there that are upset. Kevin and I still fight over what went down with all of this with us. And he walks up on Jey and says, that's why I want to come out here and look you in your eye and tell you face to face that I'm glad you're here. Tells him he's proud of him for making the jump, for standing on his own, and that he is truly main event Jey Uso. Sticks his hand out to shake it. Jey says no. Jey steps back, puts his hands behind his back. And Sammy's like, all right, cool. Whenever you want to talk, I'm here. So he goes to get out of the ring, and Jey stops him and says, Sammy, that wasn't very Usi of me, which the crowd went nuts on. And then they hug it out. Everybody's happy. Everybody loves to see it. They start walking to the back, and here comes Drew McIntyre, who also has a problem with the bloodline and is quite a bit large. I didn't realize how much bigger Drew McIntyre was than Jey Uso until they got on the stage together. Damn. Drew McIntyre's a big dude. So Drew stares him down, and Sammy's like, hold on. It's his first day back. Calm down. And same thing with Riddle. Riddle just kind of looks him over, and Sammy kind of keeps the peace there. They walk to the back. Takes us into our first match, which is the Viking Raiders versus, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, versus McRiddle. For some reason, that name is sticking, and I don't understand it. McRiddle. Yeah, you've got Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle, and it's a tornado tag. Drew McIntyre's not having this where he's got to tag in to get at somebody. So It's an all-out fight, and I loved every minute of it. Of course, towards the end of the match, Kofi comes out, throws some kicks out, is about to set everything out, and ends up kicking Matt Riddle, which is not a good thing because the Viking Raiders roll up Drew McIntyre, they get the pin, and McIntyre is clearly frustrated. You can see it when they walk to the back. As they get to the back, you get Seth Rollins walking out to the ring, calling out Shinsuke Nakamura. And he said something in this call out that I just absolutely loved. He's telling him, Josh says, I blame Grimace for the McRiddle thing. Seth starts saying, you walked out here. I watched you walk out of the arena at Payback. My wife had to push me out in a wheelchair, and I'm not good with that. So I need you to come out right now and get in this ring with me. And Shinsuke comes out and he stays up there by the Tron and he's not moving. Seth says, I get it. I got to give you what you want again. So let's have a world championship match right here, right now. Let's go. Nakamura says no, which Seth doesn't understand. So he's like, no. And they go back and forth with no's. And the thing that Seth said that I like so much is, well, I guess I get how you feel, but you about to catch this work, son. Throws the mic down, throws his jacket off. They get at each other. Security splits them up, and there's a really heated exchange between him and Adam Pearce about, I'm trying to save you from yourself. You go too hard. You do more than any other champ has. I'm trying to save you from yourself. So I can see where this angle is going, and I like it. I'm here for it. One of the things that happened when they're splitting them up is Ricochet came out and just threw Nakamura back. So that sets up a Shinsuke Nakamura Ricochet match, which was good. Anytime you put Ricochet in the ring, it's going to be a banger match. They went back and forth. It goes outside of the ring. Rollins comes out and attacks. They got to split everybody up again. It's controlled chaos, which is always a good thing on Raw. Judgment Day watching in the back and decide they're not going to cash in today because there's enough going on over there. You get to a Judgment Day promo where they're talking about having all the gold. They run Raw. Same stuff you hear them usually say, but then JD McDonough comes up, tells them, you got to get rid of that case. That's part of your problem. You need to get rid of the case. And Damien's starting to get upset. He says you need to replace it with this one. Busts out a purple case that says Senior Money in the Bank, which Damien absolutely loves. Sammy shows up yelling, screaming about, it took 5 of you to beat us. You think we're not going to do something about that? I want Dom. I'm going to fight Dom because Dom runs his mouth. JD McDonough steps in and says, you're not fighting Dom. You want to fight somebody, fight me. So it sets up the match for later in the night. You get Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I thought this was a great match. They went at each other and they went at each other hard. It was a lot of fun to watch. And at the end of it, Baszler gets the win. And at the end of it, she looks at Zoe, holds her hand out to get the pound in and says, gave me a better match than Ronda ever did. So I was thinking, damn, that's saying something. So I see a lot more coming up with Baszler and Stark. You get Raquel Rodriguez with Chelsea Green. This was an absolute squash match. That's all this was. This was a match for Raquel to get out there and say that her and Rhea Ripley next week on Raw are going to go one-on-one, and Dom is barred from ringside, which we all know that that means that he's going to come to ringside because that's how that works. We go to Miz TV, and this is why I love The Miz. People talk trash on The Miz all the time, saying he's jobbing to everybody. I disagree. He puts a lot of people over, but this segment was one of the reasons I love The Miz. So he talks about the match between him and LA Knight and how things didn't work out right. It was all John Cena's fault. He invites John Cena down. Cena's music hits. The cameraman is going through the motions that he would be doing were John Cena there. Of course, John Cena's not out there. Miz waits for a minute, points to one of the seats, sits down himself, has an entire conversation with John Cena that's there, but not there because you can't see him. So takes what's been a 20-year joke and just runs with it because he can't see him. Has a whole conversation with him, tells him how he screwed everything up for him, and admonishes him. Says, "Now get out of my ring," and has to go in again and say, "When I say get out of my ring, I mean get out of my ring," and then pushes the non-existent John Cena, and then gets pushed back. Like he's having this whole altercation with the unseen John Cena, and everybody's there for it. I mean, it's what I love about the Miz. He did all of this just to say, whether it's LA Knight or an invisible John Cena, I put on quality every time, every single night. And he let us know that this thing with LA Knight is not over, which makes me happy because it's absolute gold. Like, you put LA Knight and the Miz in the same ring and it's money every time. So I was happy to see that. Takes us into the Sammy versus JD McDonough. It was a decent match. It wasn't the best match I've seen. It was decent, but Sammy gets the win. But I thought it was a really good. I get he's had a couple of matches before, but it was a good big time debut for JD McDonough. I like seeing him wrestle. I like seeing him get that exposure, get that time, because I feel like he's going to do big things on the main roster. He goes back and is welcomed by the Judgment Day, and you had Dom go over to Jey Uso and doing his best to look sincere, say, I know what you're going through. I know what it's like to come from a broken family, but the Judgment Day is my family now, and if you want them to be your family, I can put in a word. You come talk to us. You will be family for you. Don't see that going anywhere. Not gonna lie. Jay is not. In no world does Jay become a part of the Judgment Day. I just can't see it. That takes us to our main event, which was the match of the night, without question. Chad Gable and Gunther for the IC title. What a freaking match. I've always been a fan of Chad Gable, even with the goofy "thank you" and the playoff for the crowd. He has always been one of the most technical wrestlers since Chris Benoit. So seeing him in the ring with Gunther and the way they went back and forth at each other, it was just an A+ match all the way around. The number of chops that man took to the chest. Oh, I don't even know how he was breathing by the end of the match, because we all know how hard Gunther can swing that arm. And he took shot after shot after shot and didn't quite get there. Gunther got the win, but Gunther, for the first time in his storied IC title run, looked like he was in trouble and looked like he knew he was in trouble. So camera cuts to his daughter in tears because just watched dad get beat. And of course, Gunther said a few things, and I saw an after the show, I'm not even gonna call it a promo, I'll call it a shoot, with Chad Gable that says, we had our match, it's good and all that, but this isn't over because I'm coming after you because you don't talk to my daughter. Now it's personal. Now this is a whole personal thing now. So we're gonna get more of Gunther and Chad Gable, and I can't wait for it. It's gonna be good. And yes, Sarah, if it does bring back some memories, that whole chop to the chest thing. When I tell you that's not comfortable, I mean that's not comfortable. Brian Rage Rivera throwing one across my chest when we went out to Love It Pro Wrestling 101. That hurts. I ain't gonna lie about it. I don't know how you guys do it all the time. And when you're swinging an arm like Gunther's, Chad Gable has all my respect just for that. All in all, though, Raw was good. Raw, I would absolutely be perfectly fine with giving Raw an A. There are a couple of things that were just kind of like the Raquel Rodriguez Chelsea Green squash match. Wasn't real big on the Sammy JD match. I was happy to see JD out there, but all in all, it was an A. I was happy with it. I thought it was great. So that's what's going on the TV, but we've got some things going on here in our local area. And I just want to take a moment for everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, to say, if you have not experienced West Texas independent wrestling live and in person, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Because some of the best matches I've seen, and I'm including the stuff I see on television, some of the best matches I've ever seen have come from matches at BCW in Leveland, matches at Squared Circle Pro in Lubbock. These matches, these guys go out there, guys and gals go out there all the time and give you everything they've got, and you can see it in every single match. So you've got a couple of opportunities this month. We're going to start with the Squared Circle Pro. They have a show September 16th at Jake's. It's a Squared Circle Pro birth anniversary. And, you know, we didn't have a whole lot of the matches on the last show, but we do now. Listen to this card. You've got Gabriel Alexander, the defender of truth, going against Lau. Now, we've seen the transformation of Sean Lau over the last little bit into this Lau person. You know, something's taken over him, and he's got it out for Gabriel Alexander. So they're going to settle it in the ring at birth anniversary. We've got a fatal 4-way tag match. We've got one of our guests tonight, Jeb Bingham and Draven Reeves versus Los Espectaculares. I said it. I got it this time. Versus Code, which is Logan Knight and Rob Boris, versus the Art of Royalty with Donovan Pierce and King Kizzy. 4 tag teams, 1 match, and the amount of talent that's in that is outstanding before the match ever starts. I've got to say, I haven't had a chance to see the Art of Royalty wrestle, but as the host of the podcast, of course, I've got to put my vote behind our boy Jeb, Draven. I think they've got this. I think they take it. We've got El Baracho, Avon Axel versus Cappuccino Jones. We've got the Living Proof Justin Taylor on the show with us last week versus Nate Collins. They're doing something really cool with the women's division. So we've got Skylar Slice going against Reza Clark. And of course, Reza Clark being half of the Divas of Destruction with Olivier Vegas. Then you've got Misty Marks versus Olivier Vegas. Of course, Reza Clark going to be in her corner for that one. Now, those 2 matches are going to happen, and the winners of those matches are going to go up against Anastasia Morningstar in a triple threat for the Squared Circle Pro Texas Women's Championship. So we've got 3 matches worth of contendership to get to that title, and it's the talent in these matches. It's going to be good. You've got to get your tickets for this. We've got a triple threat match, which is Ankler versus TJ Slater versus JKM. TJ Slater, of course, we talk about him all the time. He is what you picture when you picture pro wrestling. The look, the moves, the mic, he's what you picture when you think of pro wrestling. JKM with the speed, and of course, Ankler with his high flying. This match is going to be absolutely great. If you've watched some of the past Squared Circle Pro matches, you've noticed that Los Carnales has had a little bit of infighting there, a little family feud, if you will. And we thought it was going to be over when we had Emilio Guzman going against Cesar Torres. But at the end of that match, Cesar decides to push JC Bravo. JC Bravo saying he's acting like a child. If he's going to act like a child, he's going to get beat like a child. So they're in a barrio strap match. JC Bravo with Emilio Guzman in his corner going up against Cesar Torres in a barrio strap match. Oh, there ain't no fight like a family fight. Anybody with brothers or sisters can tell you that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one. We have a tag team cage match. You've got the American Tragedy Phoenix and Aaron Harms going against the Texas Terror Damo McCullough and Mr. Gold Girls and Glory himself, Bam Bam Malone. Of course, they have Nolan Phillips with them. And at the last match, Nolan Phillips made sure that Damo and Bam Bam win. Well, I don't know if you've ever seen Phoenix angry. It is a scary sight to see. And he was livid. So He throws it out there to TJ McCullough. TJ McCullough sets it up as a cage match. And the one stipulation that Phoenix wanted, he got, and that Nolan Phillips will be in the cage. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, no way to change the outcome. He's in the cage along with him. So it's going to get ugly. And I mean, it's a cage match at Jake's. How can you miss out on that? We've got the Heck Yeah Radio iPay-per-view Squared Circle Pro iPay-per-view championship. Gino Rivera versus Chris Watson. Both of these guys, spectacular talents. Can't wait to see them go against each other. And then, of course, you've got your main event, the Squared Circle Pro Championship with the last Maverick, Ryan Justice, versus LC Mox versus the one and only Fuego del Sol. This match is going to be worth the price of admission by itself. Ryan Justice, always a good match. LC Mox, zero quitting that guy. And there's not enough I can say about Fuego del Sol. You've seen him everywhere, and he's always putting on a banger match, and it's not going to be any different then. You also got El Hombre, Johnny Santos, making his SCP debut. You're going to have appearances by Tino Valentino, Baby Samoa, Brian Rage, Rivera, Thomas Silva, Lucas Scratch, and who knows who else. There's always so many people at these shows, so make sure you get your tickets to that one. That again, September 16th, Squared Circle Pro Birthiversary at Jake's Back Room here in Lubbock, Texas. But before that, this Saturday, BCW bringing you Live to Rise at the TMW Event Center in Levelland, Texas. And this show holds a special spot for us here in the podcast because it is a first responder appreciation show. First responders have a deep meaning for us. You know, I was a little kid, was in a car wreck, and it's because of a first responder and his knowledge and the training that he's had and his compassion that I'm still here today. You know, that first responder took care of a 5-year-old kid, and he's the reason I'm still here. So first responders have a deep meaning for me, and it's an honor for us to be part of a show that is to honor them. So let's get into that card. You've got Hobo Hank going against the Country Devils' newest acquisition. Who is the newest acquisition? I don't know. I'm interested to see. I'm curious to see who it is that Hobo Hank's going to be going against. Hobo Hank is, I mean, he's been around. He is definitely a worthy adversary. So Country Devil's going to have something huge in his pocket to put up against Hobo Hank. We've got Scar versus Lucha Dad. Lucha Dad, of course, a fan favorite. You know, from the minute he comes out with his shirt says, "I heart hot Lucha Moms." That's awesome. Great in the ring, but Scar's a monster, man. I mean, he's from his bear hug challenge, which I'll go ahead and throw it out there. Little Guapo is still saying that he can. The reason that's never been beat is because he hasn't been in it yet. Not sure what he's trying to get to there, but if Scar ever hears that, there may be some problems. But Scar's just a monster of a guy, and he's going to be going up against Lucha Dad. Of course, we've got a night in the spotlight, a segment with the spotlight himself, Logan Knight, his special guest, Aaron Harms, not a guest of his choosing, mind you, a guest of Mike's choosing. And it's going to be, I'm looking forward to that. Aaron Harms always puts on good show, always has something to say. So we'll have to see what Logan brings to him. We've got Mac the Franchise versus TJ Slater. I can't say enough about this match. Mac the Franchise, friend of the show, absolutely. He's just all go. Like, the man doesn't know when to stop. Like, he doesn't know how to quit. He doesn't know how to stop. You know, he's going to fight until the bell rings, and maybe a little after that. Who can tell? But he's got his hands full. TJ Slater, you know, that guy can do it all. He's got the moves. He's got the power behind those moves. So that's going to be a whole lot of talent in the ring and a whole lot of fight. So looking forward to that. Brian Rage Rivera, Baby Samoa, and Phoenix going up against Guerrilla Militia If you have not seen Gorilla Militia, go to YouTube, go to Google, wherever you want to go, look them up. I say Scar is a monster of a man. The guys in Guerrilla Militia are monsters of monsters. Like these guys are huge. They got bad attitudes, and they're there to fight. What was it? 2 weeks ago, maybe three, we had Franco D'Angelo, and he's got a little bit of a problem with Phoenix, and he's ready to take care of that. And Brian Rage Rivera just absolutely livid with how things went the last time Gorilla Militia and he and Baby Samoa got together. Baby Samoa putting out a promo saying they're going gorilla hunting. They're going on safari and they're hunting gorillas. So emotions running high in this one. It's going to be a great match. Of course, you've got Emilio Guzman, friendly neighborhood Vato against Damo McCullough, the Texas Terror. Damo's a big dude, no question about that. But Emilio Guzman, if I had to put my money down right now, it's on Emilio because he's got zero quit. That guy is all about it all the time. So I'm looking forward to that one. And of course, we've got the BCW old school tag team titles on the line. The Resistance versus Los Crudos. Kind of questionable the way the Resistance got their belts, the way they kept their belts. No questioning these guys are good in the ring. Can't question that at all. But I don't know that they've ever been up against something like Los Crudos. They're there to fight. They're not there to do anything but fight. They're there, drink tequila and fight. That's what they like to do. I'm not going to lie. I've seen a time when Los Crudos came out and they had a weed eater with them. You never know what you're getting with them. And I don't know that the Resistance is ready for that, but they better get ready. Of course, our guest last week, Justin Taylor, going up against the father of filth himself, Funny Bone. That dude is creepy as hell. I'm not going to lie. I've gone back and watched some of his matches and just absolutely brutal. But Justin Taylor's ready for that. And Justin Taylor's ready to show that he's up to the challenge, that he can face the fear. So that one's going to be a great match, which brings us to our main event and my guests this evening, which we'll be bringing one half of in here in just a second. But you've got the Wildcard Jeb Bingham defending the BCW Texas Championship against the Defender of Truth, Gabriel Alexander. This match is set up to be an absolute banger. With that, let's go ahead and bring in the champ right now, the wild card himself, Jeb Bingham. Jeb, what's up, brother?
Not much. Put in the work,
I bet so. Man, I can't tell you how excited I am for this match between you and Gabriel Alexander. Like, I could feel the tension start at the end of your match with Sledge when you stood up on the ropes with the belt. He was in the commentary with us. He had to pull the headphones off, stand up. You could already feel the tension. So where are you at with this match?
That you say that, but that tension was like, it was based off of a match that I just had with other guys, and I had that talk with or that statement made with Sledge, you know what I'm saying, like, or that moment, and like those fumes, like I was still ready, like I still felt like I had something to prove against Sledge, and I didn't get to finish that, and that was so frustrating to know that. But then I had to turn around and go, wait, if I'm not able to do that, then it's got to turn around and go to something else, and that's Gabriel Alexander, like Defender of Truth. I can't, that, like I said, as soon as that's done, it's next in line. It's the next process. It's the next person that's in line. And I have to say this, man, like I am so happy that it's happening this way because I've been asking for it. And it's finally happened. They're pitting number one contenderships for this belt on the line, and people are having to earn it, and he earned it. So it's that time now. It's that time, I don't hold any animosity towards him. He's stepping into the ring that I am controlling. He's stepping into the ring when that belongs to me is on the line. and he's coming to try to take it from me. And I'm just like, I'm not ready to give it up yet. You're going to have to force it out of my hands.
Well, we're sitting at what, just about a year with that BCW Texas title, aren't we?
Yeah, a year, full year.
That's impressive, man. And the matches, just the matches I've seen since we've come into the picture, I mean, every time it's just solid fight. And you know, there's some of these matches that you have been billed as the underdog in. Your match with Sledge, you were billed as the underdog in that one, and went on to have a hell of a match. So does that do anything as far as pumping you up if you're billed as an underdog in a match? Or
Man, I was in the back, and I heard a remark like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This rookie. It was something to that degree, and I had it in my head. I was like, oh yeah, 2 years, 2 years. Wow, I am so behind. Wow, 2 years, Mike.
Mikey in the chat saying 2 years you've had that belt.
I've
You're going after Roman Reigns type.
man, I just get so lost in the process of things. Like, I don't keep count. But thank you for that correction, Mikey. And Mikey's the head honcho, so he's the head guy. Is like, he's had it for this long. I'm like, oh, I've had it that long. Like, I lost count. I keep focusing on my opponents rather than focusing on the count. The count's not important. It's not about me winning and keeping the title or necessarily beating them. It's just it's I have to beat them. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I have to prove myself every single time. That's me. Like, and that, like I said, someone was like, this rookie or this person doesn't understand, and it's like, okay, you walk in here and you feel a certain way about me. Okay, cool. All right, watch. Like, watch me. Like, that just, like, I get in my head a lot enough as it is, and that's what Wildcard's protected me from my whole life. You know, like, he's the reason that I get so overwhelmed and I put on the mask, because I have to hide from that animosity. But it's like, I'll tell you once and I'll tell you again, and I've said it several times here. And if you're in the chat and you're listening, and you're Rick, LC, Mike, any other promoter in this business, or anybody else that's watching, I will prove myself over and over again that I am the guy. I can be the guy. Doubt me all you want. I will go out there and prove it. Put me in there with your best guy, and I will shut that house down, and make people go, damn, I can't do that. I can't do that. This guy right here won't let me. He will not let it happen. He's my backbone. He's my strength, my power. He's what holds me together and makes me better. He's what makes me go, no. We're not going to have that. If I have to get down and dirty and I have to knock some teeth down some people's throats, I will. Because I will not be looked at as not the guy anymore, or the person that won't do this. I've worked too damn hard to get here. I'm in the best shape of my damn life. And I look better than half your damn roster. So keep on doubting me. I'll outwork you in the ring, and I'll outwork you outside of the ring.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things we talked about at the last show was how you were a completely different person than you were the show before that, through the training, through the working. So walk us through it. How do you build up for this match with Gabe?
Man, you can go and study. I mean, I think one of the biggest help that you can have is just sitting back and watching. Like me and I was sitting back at the last show. I watched every single match before me and Sledge went out there. I watched every single match. So I watched everything that happened. And that's what you have to do. You have to sit back and watch and watch and watch and watch. And you're watching what they do, and they're watching how they do it and how they time it. Because once you know what they do and how they do it and how they time it, that's your opportunity of a lifetime to take advantage. And it's not in a bad way. Sometimes it is, but you have to get that opportunity. You have to take that opportunity to take that advantage over somebody and really use it to as leverage. Because Gabe he would do the exact same thing if he could. I mean,
No question.
if you're going, hey, if I don't do this, I'm not walking out with this belt. You know,
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Now, when you went against Sledge at the last match, we didn't see Wildcard come in, which is I know something that you've been working towards. Working towards, you know, Jeb Bingham being the man that wins the match. Um, there's been a history with you and Gabe. How long have you guys been in the business together?
That's a great question. I was there when he first started training. Like I was there at the training school, and I was one of the head guys that would help lead certain routines and certain um, sessions of like bump drills, roll drills, you name it. We started fresh from the beginning with him, and like I know a lot about Gabe, and I won't throw anything out here that I don't have permission to throw out here because it's not my place. That's up to him of what he wants to say and doesn't want to say. Right. And once he gets on here, I'll let him speak for himself. But I know this is that he's now in a place where I got with him last year, before this year started. And I looked at him, I said, Gabe, do you see yourself as a champion? I asked him that. I just, curiosity. And he said, no. And I said, why not? I said, you've overcome so much. You have so much potential. Why don't you see yourself as a champion? He goes, because of my body, because of this, or because of that. I said, there's only one way to change that, Gabe, and that's by putting in the work. You have to see yourself. You have to put in the work. And ever since I said that, the kid's gone at it, man. He's got the connections. He made the connections. He made the diet plan. He's putting in the work. I've seen him. I saw the promo video. He was in the gym grinding, and I applaud him for that. But how much of that have you started on? How long have you been doing that? You know, how much effort are you putting into that? Because if you're not putting your best, it's not going to help you. You have to go in there with your best effort and best mindset of going, I need to kill myself here almost to be in the best shape I can be in, because I'm going to kill myself in this match if I don't win. Like, I'm going to have to go out there and not literally do that, but I have to go out there, that mindset that I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm not going to give up. And if he doesn't, like I said, there's good, best, better. He's got to push that gear. He's got to push that gear, because if he doesn't, it's not happening.
Do you think we may, knowing him the way you do and knowing that he is doing the same thing you're doing, there's no question that people know what you do in the ring. You know, you've made fans out of us. You've got Camino in the chat saying, let's go Jeb. They don't want none. Your work ethic, your abilities in the ring have made fans of all of us. So you know that he does his homework on that. With the history you guys have, do you think Wildcard's going to be a factor in this one?
I think so. Like, based on how I controlled the promo or tried to control the promo, it didn't necessarily go the way I thought it was going to go.
I get that.
You only can keep the animal caged away for so long without bringing it out every so often to feed it.
Very true. Very true. And it's been a little while since we've seen Wildcard, which, to me is a good thing. You know, I'm a Jeb fan. I don't get me wrong. I like Wildcard. I don't want him coming up there beating me up. I like Wildcard. I'm a fan.
I mean, do it, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I'm a Wildcard fan. Never mind.
So
no, I am. I'm a fan of watching what you do in the ring and watching how you do it. But I am excited at the idea of seeing Wildcard again.
Yeah, and like Wildcard is a part of me. Like Jeb Bingham is who I am as a person, and I am trying to figure out a way to keep that here. But there's an also possibility that he's like in the background. He's like, hey man, I need out. I need this process. I need to talk. I need to do something. I need to be involved because you can't do this without me. You can't do this without me. And it's like, he's that moral support. He's always been that support that I've needed. He's always been that extra thing to push me because there's nothing else there.
I certainly understand that. And I'm gonna step away from your match with Gabe for just a minute. Of course, Little Guapo not here today because he and Bruss both a little under the weather, but he always asks one question every time we have anybody on. So I'm gonna ask it for him in this instance. It's 3 matches, and the way it works is who do you see yourself like? What's your dream match for immediately? Your dream match 5 years out? Like, who can you see yourself going against 5 years out? And then just an overall dream match. Anybody?
I thought I answered that already, but I may have answered it wrong. So, because it always changes. Immediately. Will All Day. Will All Day is within my area. He's within distance of someone I could see going out there and tearing it up with, and having people turn heads and going, "Wait a minute, who's this guy?" Because Will All Day has a name behind him, and he's built that name. What was the next one? It was within
5 years out.
5 years out. Within the next 5 years, man, by the 5 year mark, I want to be in a business where I'm in something, anything that has a name attached to it. Like, I need to be in WWE. I need to be in AEW. I need to be in Impact, or I need to be in Japan. I don't I like. I need to be there because that's where I should be in that time frame. And if I'm not, then I'm only the only person that's got me not there is myself. Or at least I need to be traveling all across the states, anywhere and everywhere. And if I'm doing that, I want a name attached to that. Give me Fuego del Sol. I said it last time as my main guy. Let's just say Fuego del Sol if I'm not in the biggest industry in the world, WWE, or if I'm not signed at that time. I want Fuego del Sol. And anytime after that, it's got to be WWE. It's got to be a bigger brand. Like, and if I'm going to face anyone to name, there's just so many different talents in the world out there, man, that are just truly amazing. Darby Allin. Let's go AEW.
I respect that. And damn, just thinking about it, what a match that would be. Jeb Bingham and Darby Allin. Whew. All right, so
and I read that, Camino, you're right. It's step up, rise to the occasion every single time and show out. Show up, show out. That's Jeb's motto. Wildcard's like, I'm gonna eat you up. There ain't no show up and show up. I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you alive.
Which we've seen happen more than once. But standing in your way of moving into all of these things is going to be your opponent for Saturday. And from what I'm understanding, we've got him here ready to go. So throw it out to the guy to go ahead and bring in the defender of truth himself, Gabriel Alexander. Gabriel, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How about you?
Oh, it sounds like you might be muted.
Oh, hang on just a second.
I can hear him.
Can you hear him?
You can hear me?
I can.
Okay, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Oh, there we go. Gabriel, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
So we've got this match coming up Saturday. It's you, it's Jeb Bingham, it's for the BCW Texas title. I've been telling Jeb how stoked I am for this match. Cannot wait to see it. What does this match mean to you?
Man, this match is so much to me. I know me and Jeb, we face each other a couple of times. Me and Jeb, we've been fighting each other for multiple occasions, but this match is very, very important. And he told me that you have to rise to the occasion to make a point. And for that, this match, I've been really looking forward. So, Jeb, I'm more than ready. Ready for anything that comes. And I break every barrier, every wall that I break into this business. I've been in this business for 6 years. So, Jeb, I hope you're ready, man. Because the Gabriel out there that you knew will not be the same.
Big words coming from the challenger. I love it. And Gabriel, I was telling Jeb that I noticed just that heat starting up, even at the end of the last match where he stood up on the ropes with the belt. You stood up at the announce table. I'm going to give you some of the same questions I gave him. What goes with you? What goes into preparation for this match?
No, just train harder. Go to the gym every single day. Work out work out harder than I was before. And and for that, you know, every time I go to work, if I leave to work, I always constantly think about a title match. Constantly to prepare myself because Wildcard is one of the best wrestlers in BCW right now. And and for that, I gotta put my A game and put my effort to this match. So and I won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed.
Absolutely looking forward to that. And watching you wrestle, said, and I've told Jeb that it's always been fun watching him wrestle, and watching you wrestle, no quit in you, and it's all go all the time. Um, in your preparation for this, you have to prepare for the type of wrestler that Jeb Bingham is, but there's another side of that. You have to prepare for the wild card, and how are you going about getting ready for that?
Man, Wildcard is he's a different breed. When he put that mask on, you never know. But like I said, doesn't matter if it's Jeb or Wildcard. I know that I faced Wildcard before, not beating Wildcard before. So I'll probably do it again. This time, I'll probably be more even crazier than Wildcard is.
Jeb, you heard what the man said. What do you have to say in answer to that?
Let's back up a little bit here. You're the defender of truth. So I want to point something out to you, Gabe, that you may or may not recall. You say you've beaten me. I can give you that. Let's be real and tell the truth here. You've never pinned me and you've never submitted me.
Yeah.
Or let me correct. You've never pinned or submitted wild card.
Let you go ahead with that, Gabe. I'm gonna step back for a second. You guys, you can kind of feel the heat going on here, so I'm gonna step back and let you two talk this one out.
You know, Jeb, you're right. I didn't pin Wildcard. I never submitted Wildcard. But this Saturday is gonna change. It's gonna change. And personally, doesn't matter how scary Wildcard is, doesn't matter how insane Wildcard is. This Saturday, I will pin Wildcard. Yeah.
Sorry,
Just
I'm having
just
a
be
little.
more.
Just gonna be more. Gabe, I like you. I like you as a person. I'm proud of the things you've accomplished, and I'm proud of how far you've come. That he's not impressed. And it's just something. Sometimes he just doesn't see much of anything that seems of a challenge.
Okay. It's like that, huh?
Wildcard throwing it out there. I'm gonna have to throw it out there a little bit though and be like, you know, Wildcard may not be aware of exactly who you're gonna have across the ring from you because I've seen the promos, I've seen your matches in BCW, I've seen your matches in Squared Circle Pro. This is a whole different Gabriel Alexander than we've seen in the past. This is all go, all fight Gabriel Alexander, and I'm not so sure Wildcard's as ready as he thinks for that. And I wonder, Jeb, are you as ready for that?
I mean, I'm ready. Wildcard. Hey, I'm ready. I said I'm ready, man. Listen, you don't have to. Please just let me finish the conversation. Just I don't want to do this. I don't just no 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 no. Look at this! This belongs to me! Not you! None of this! Jim, this belongs to me! Me! I earned this! Not you!
I'm gonna let that go to you, Gabe. Wow. Unexpected there.
Unexpected there, man.
That was wow.
That was something.
Looks like Wildcard may have done a little bit of damage to the setup there, so we'll get him back in. But as we sit now, I want to say that I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in this game. Watching you through being in the West Texas Kings, watching you go out on your own, I do want to ask for the crowd, for everybody watching, for everybody listening at home, what does this match mean to you? That title, that BCW title? I know you said earlier you've been, you're always thinking about that title. So what does this particular title mean to you?
To be a champion, to be the top of West Texas. And that championship, the BCW Texas Championship, that championship, whoever holds that title means you are the best wrestler in BCW. To represent that, you have to be fully prepared. And to become the BCW champion, you have to put all the risk, give sacrifice, through all the triumphs. And that championship is basically that I wanted to become the king of BCW.
Looked like I had my mic muted there. I do want to mention I'd said something about the West Texas Kings in that. Of course, the match between your former partner, Mac the Franchise, and TJ Slater for the number one contendership to whoever wins between you and Jeb Bingham. So we stand with the possibility of possibly seeing Gabriel Alexander versus Mac the Franchise. Give me a little bit about what you think there.
Man, I respect Mac the Franchise. We've been wrestled a couple of times. He's like a brother to me, a friend, and we've been each other's side. We always he's truly a bro to me. And if we cross paths once again, we both know we're not gonna hold each other's punches. We both know we want to both to be the best. And we all be all friends, we all bros and all. But when it comes for the BCW Texas Championship, all friends has to stand aside.
And that is the way it is, of course. Friends are friends, family's family, but business is business, and that belt is what this business is all about. Um, Moving forward from this match with Jeb, you've got the possibility with Mac. It could be TJ Slater. We've seen TJ Slater do some wild things in the ring. We've seen him pick up and squat Justin Taylor. We've seen him do a push-up competition with Jeb Bingham. Uh, that's the other side of this equation. So what are you looking at? How do you prepare if it's TJ that wins this and you come across as champion?
Man, TJ Slater is really TJ Slater is one of the few people I really look out for, and he's one of those guys that who want to be in that position to get that opportunity. And he says that it's mine. It's my opportunity. I want this. Not his, not Mac the Franchise, not me, not even Wildcard himself. To get that opportunity, you have to earn it.
And that's exactly the way it should be. You should have to earn it. Jeb actually said something about that earlier, that he's happy to see the fact that people are having to earn their number one contendership now. That we're doing matches for number one contendership, and it's a pleasant change for him. And of course, you won yours in a triple threat match, supposed to be a fatal four-way. Damo couldn't make it, but a triple threat match with Justin Taylor, with Emilio Guzman. Case I didn't get to say it enough then. That was match of the night quality for me. You three in the ring it was outstanding. Of course, you come out on top for that one, which puts you in this match. Do you have? Granted, he's not here because Wildcard went crazy and busted up his system, I guess. Do you have a message that you want to send to Jeb, send to Wildcard? Like, if they're standing right in front of you right now, what is your message to them?
Wildcard or Jeb, doesn't matter who it is. I've been fighting. I've been working hard, trying hard for this moment, for this very moment. And this Saturday, I promise, Wildcard, Jeb, you guys know, I ain't the Gabriel Alexander that you knew. I'm the Gabriel Alexander who pushes to off the limit. And I will be the BCW Texas champion. I'm not afraid of Wildcard. I'm not even scared of him. The first time I met Wildcard, to be honest with you, I was kind of really scared. I was really nervous about Wildcard. But now, I don't think I'm not afraid of him anymore. And Jeb, with all due respect, man, you've been to BCW for quite a year. But I think it's time a new generation to rise to the occasion. You might, you,
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, from Gabriel Alexander. This match is going to be Caged Insanity, and I cannot wait to see it. And you can see it Saturday night, Levelland, Texas, TMW Event Center. You still have time to get your VIP tickets, which kind of a big deal here. I mean, with that VIP ticket, you get your ticket to get into the show. You get in 30 minutes early. You get a T-shirt. You get a BCW sticker. You get a pass for a car wash. Like, you can't beat that. So $30 for that. Yeah, I mean, how do you beat that? So make sure you pick that up and get the opportunity to see these two go at each other, because it's going to be a match like no other. Now, I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked him. If you've watched the show before, Little Guapo, my oldest son, of course, my boys aren't here today because they're a little under the weather, but he always asks everybody on the show the same question. So I'll ask it to you. Who do you see? Who would you like to see yourself going against, like dream match now, in 5 years, and like just overall dream match?
man, there's a lot of things. Um, man, like I say, Mysterious Q. He's one of the few people I want to face from reality wrestling. Um, who else? Man, Will All Day. Will All Day is one of them. Um, man, there's so many people I just can't think of it. But in the near future, I really want to face. Hmm, probably RVD or AJ Styles. One of those two, because those two are like are my idols, and those two guys are like my top favorite wrestlers in the world. So even though it's not coming true, but um, and there's another wrestler I really want to wrestle the most is whew, choose. The Rock. Yep. Someone said The Rock. I was gonna say The Rock, but someone said it.
Well, and as far as it goes with AJ Styles or with The Rock, just I can't go with that thought process of it's never going to happen, because I've seen you in the ring. I
Yeah.
know what you've got there. I could definitely see you and AJ Styles across from each other in the ring, and what a hell of a match that would be.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I would love to see that one.
Thank you,
So
man.
as we're coming down, we're at that 9:20 mark. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for just a second. The way we do it on the show is we always do a final thought. So I'm going to turn it over to you for your final thought.
I want to say thank you guys so much for all your support and for all your love. And it's been a lot of journey to get to this point. And my heart, thank you guys truly. this Saturday, I will not fail you guys.
And I don't think there's anybody around that thinks that you will. I know this is going to be an amazing match between the two of you. I want to thank you for coming on our show. I know we've been trying for a little while to get you on here. I'm glad we finally got the opportunity to. So thank you so much for being here. As far as a final thought for myself, um, get out and see West Texas Independent Wrestling. Get your tickets. Go see this match. If you don't go see anything else, go to BCW this Saturday to see this match because you're going to see two of the best doing it like no other in the ring. I want to say thank you to Jeb and want to say to Wildcard, calm down, man. It's okay. You're going a little crazy there. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening. Thank you to our new followers. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna head out to BCW on Saturday. So if you're there, if you get your tickets and you come out there, come up to the commentary, come say hi to your boys. We're gonna be there. With that, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. Thank you to everybody that's been here. Thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12, and we will see you Saturday at BCW Live to Rise. Until then, this is Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast, and we'll see you then. Yeah.
I